Welcome back to Ben's Garage. Today we're in the man cave. This is going to be my little room. It's obviously in need of renovation. We started stripping the wallpaper off, but we're going to put false walls in here, insulate, all that kind of thing, and then I can hide all my wires and stuff. So in this room we're going to have the computer all set up on that wall over there. In that corner we're going to have all my music gear, because unbeknown to some people, I play a bit of the old bass guitar. Played in quite a few bands actually. Played in bands in the UK, played in bands in France. So that's all going to be set up over there. I'll have my amp set up on the gram pad. I've got an effects pedal which I wasn't using when I was gigging, because I've got a couple of tone slots on my amplifier, which I won't go into all that. I've actually started learning saxophone before I went into hospital. So that'll all come out again and I'll start playing that again. On this wall here we're going to have one of the tellies up on the wall with a PlayStation. So it's going to be a proper man cave in here. I'm going to have my hi-fi over there with my vinyl collection. That's right, kids. Vinyl. Music on vinyl. All you older folks will know what I'm talking about. And that's going to be it in here. It's going to be my little retreat. Come in here, do a bit of editing, have some music on, play some music, have a little bit of PlayStation. That's this room. Anyway, I posted in the community tab. I was going to do a question and answers session on video, and I've had quite a few questions, so I'm just going to fire into them really. Some really random questions, you know. Some of the questions have been covered in other videos. If it's a question that's been covered in a video, I'll put a link up, one or the other, and just tell you where it is. I'll give you a brief rundown anyway. I can't remember who's asked these questions, so I'll just fire away from it. First question: why the move to France? Moved to France in 2009. Marriage had broke up. Basically lost 2 houses. Well, I shan't go into any of that. That's a drama for another channel. Anyway, parents had already moved to France, so it just come a point where everything was getting on top. Well, not getting on top, because I don't suffer with depression or anything like that, because I'm so laid back, it all just goes over my head. Nothing was going right in the UK, so it got to a point where I just phoned my mum and dad up. I says, "Are you ready for me to move over yet?" And they says, "Yeah." So I'll put a picture up. I had a Range Rover Classic with an ex-army Sankey trailer, which was absolutely loaded up to the gunnels. I'll show you this picture. So yeah, I loaded that up. There was me and my dog. I had a German Shepherd at the time called Parker. A bloody great dog. And I had all these beds spread out in the back. He had loads of room in the back of the car. I only just had enough room to get onto the gear stick to change gear. It was, all my possessions was stacked up to the ceiling. Made our way down to France. I moved in with mum and dad for just, I was working with my dad and stuff, clearing a bit of the land, and then I met Tina and moved in with her. The rest, as they say, is history. So that leads us on to the next question. Who is Tina? Your wife or your sister? None of the above. We're not married, but we are together. We are looking at getting married because the inheritance laws in France are antiquated, I should say. If something was to happen to me, or say something happened to Tina, this house is in joint names, even though we're not married. I own half of it, Tina owns half of it. Anything happens to Tina, even she could leave, I don't know, basically it goes to her half, gets split between all her relatives. So because she's an only child, it goes to the next which would be all her cousins. And there's quite a lot of her cousins. So her half would be owned by all her cousins. And it'd just be a nightmare. So the plan is to get married. But even in France, getting married isn't a straightforward situation. I shan't go into any details, but it is aggravation. But we will get it done. We're not bothered about being married or not. It's, at the end of the day, it's just a piece of paper. If you love someone and you want to be with them, then that's it. That's all you need to do, really. I mean, neither of us are religious or anything like that. So, but for the legal side of things, just to keep everything nice. It's silly things. Like if anything happened to me, all the cars are in my name. Now, Tina can't do anything about those because those will go to all my next of kin, which would be my brother and 3 sisters. Now, I can't see there being any problem with it. They'd have to sell it and then hopefully give Tina the money. But I mean, it's a minefield, so it's just as easy to get married. Oh, question number 3. Have you ever smoked? No. I've tried it. I say everyone's tried it. My dad reckons he's never tried it, but he's obviously done a bit of passive smoking. He used to play the old darts, so he used to go out in the pubs and that. But yeah, I've tried it. It wasn't for me, and it's too bloody expensive. But yeah, so that's that one out the window. I might have smoked some funny stuff at some point, but we won't go into that on here. Question number 4. What happened to your legs? Well, if you go back over some previous videos, I'll put a link up to a video here where I've started a new series on paraplegic progress. Basically, aortic dissection, complications to surgery. I've got a bit of damage on my brain, on my medulla oblongata or whatever it is, which sends signals and nerves and this, that and the other. My muscles wasted away while I was in hospital, and basically I'm in a wheelchair for what I've been for 3 years. Fingers crossed, this new physio guy has got me doing some exercises which I would never have been able to have done this time last year. So, and he did say, actually, the other day, after 6 sessions with him, he did say, your legs are getting stronger. So, we're not counting our chickens, but possibly could get walking again. Question number 5. What year and engines are your Range Rovers? Well, the 2002 Range Rover is a TD6, which is the 3-litre BMW diesel engine, which makes a hell of a lot of noise and hasn't got a lot of go. It's not bad. It does motor along. It gets up to speed fairly, quickly. I wouldn't want to tow anything too heavy with it because it is, for the size of the car, it is slightly underpowered. But it does the job, and that's going to be the Expedition Range Rover that we're planning to do when the garage is done. The other Range Rover we got is a 2010 TDV8 3.6, and that's got quite a bit more go. It's about, I think they're 68 horsepower. That's going in for an EGR delete and a remap. Yeah. That'll be a video coming along shortly. When we get it done. We've still not got the wipers sorted out. The garage has got it in hand. Anyway. Question number 6. Why buy a diesel Range Rover? Now this was from a bloke who's got a petrol 4.4 2005. He said there's a lot more problems with the diesels and you don't get that much more gas mileage. Well, I beg to differ on that one. I looked up on the I don't know, Wikipedia or whatever it was. It said the 2005 4.4 petrol would get on average 17 miles to the gallon. The 2010 TDV8 on average gets 25. Now I know if we're out on a run I can get over 30 miles to the gallon on diesel. Diesel's cheaper in France. And also, in France, any vehicle, I think, newer than 2009, you get taxed quite heavily on the CO2 emissions. Now, I've got it written down here. The petrol 4.4 is 389 grams kilometre or something, and the TDV8 is 294. That's quite a bit less. In France, you do get taxed if on higher polluting vehicles. When you register the car, you apply for a carte grise. There's always a fee for the carte grise. You pay more for the power. Like when we did the Audi, that's 180 horsepower. That cost us €270 because they do it on the puissance fiscal, which is it's not the horsepower number, but I think they give it a number. The Audi's 12 for 180 horsepower. That was €270. Now the Range Rover, when we bought it, there's obviously the admin fees, and then there's the price you pay for the power. Now the puissance fiscal on the Range Rover was 20, being almost 100 horsepower more than what the Audi is. And then you get charged for the CO2 emissions, and I believe we paid €950 to register the car. That's a one-off fee. Once you've paid that, that's it. You don't pay road tax or anything like that. You get the carte grise, which is like your logbook, comes in with your name on it and all your details. But there is also a charge every year for high polluting vehicles. I think it's a set fee for €160 a year. I do believe I'm exempt from that because I'm registered handicapped, so hopefully we'll get away with that one. So that's the reason why we got a diesel. Petrol is quite a lot more expensive in France than a diesel is, and I don't see any more issues with a diesel than you would get with a petrol. Plus the diesels now run quite nicely. It's not like the old diesels where you used to have to floor it, black smoke, lack of power. Nowadays you put your foot down and they bleed and go. So yeah, there's not a lot in it. I mean, a petrol is a bit more refined, but nah, so I'll stick with diesel. Question number 7. Someone asked for advice on using a Range Rover for everyday use. All I would say is have plenty of money in the bank. At the best, if you get a diesel, you're looking at between 20 and 25 miles to the gallon if you're commuting or anything like that. You get something like a Volkswagen Golf, you're going to get 50 plus miles to the gallon. I only use that as an example because that's the car my dad used to have, so I know how many miles to the gallon he was getting. But if I was having to use one every day, it wouldn't be the car I don't think I would choose. I would always like to have a Range Rover, but for an everyday car, I don't know. You need deep pockets, I think. If you can, something will go wrong in it, basically, at some point. So you either need deep pockets so you can get it into the garage, or be mechanically minded and you can do a few jobs yourself. Most of the jobs are quite straightforward. If you can get a little diagnostic kit, you can find out faults, you can clear codes, put the lights out, brakes, most of the suspension's easy to work on. Most of the engine part, bits and pieces are fairly easy. It's only when you get to like the really technical jobs, you'd have to take it into a garage. But yeah, you either need to be sort of mechanically minded and know that you can fix it, or have deep pockets. And I don't know how, because I get people saying, "Oh, well, it's all very well, but in the UK, road tax is this." I looked it up. I think road tax for the cars we've got would be especially the newer one. I'm not sure about the old one. £570 for 12 months for road tax. See, in France we don't pay road tax. You pay for your carte grise at the start of when you get the car, and that's it. Obviously, if you go on the péages, you pay your tolls, but yeah, I'm not sure. I wouldn't use one for an everyday commute or anything like that. But that's just me. What else we got on here? Number 8, and I think this is the last one. What is your opinion on the new Defender? I'm not sure. I like the look of it, and you can see the old Defender lines in there, but they've taken it somewhere that it's a bit more modern. But to me, a Defender is always a utility vehicle. To me, the Defender it was sort of aimed at farmers. They can chuck whatever they want in it. They can take the mats out, hose the floor out. It was a utility vehicle. In at the price range at the bottom in the Land Rover range. You had the Defender, then you had the Discovery, which was sort of placed in the middle, then you had the Range Rover. Now I can't even keep up with what they got. You've got the Range Rover right at the top, the full size one, and then you've got the Velar, the Sport, the Evoque. I don't even know what Range Rover models there are. And then you've got the Discovery Sport, and then you've got I don't know if they still make the Freelander, and then you've got the Defender. But I think they've sort of come away a bit from the core of what Land Rover was all about to start with, and the price, starting at about 40 grand. Some people like it. We'll have to see how they sell. I don't like the idea that they're made in Slovakia. Not that it's going to be any different quality wise, but before they were all made in the UK. But times change, I suppose, and they've gone off to pastures new. But I think Land Rover are sort of going away from the utility vehicle and all that kind of thing. I mean, I was watching a clip on YouTube with the Defender and the 110, was it the Country or the County, with all the extras on it. It was like £85,000. Well, that's not a Defender to me. That's Range Rover money. But Defenders in the last few years, I think 2016 was when they stopped making them, did sort of get a bit of a cult following, and they got all jazzed up with bits and pieces and got all sound deadening in them and stuff like that. It just would have been nice if they made like a bog standard one, because I don't know if the Toyota still do it, but Toyota did what they called a UN spec Land Cruiser, which was bog standard, had wind down windows in it, and you could, well, I'm going back a few years now, when I was working at Toyota, you could buy one brand new for £19,000. It was bog standard. It was heavy duty suspension, everything on it, but they called it UN spec. They were just plain, probably white as well. Would have been nice if Land Rover did something like that to sort of appeal to more like the farmers and the tradespeople that need Land Rovers. So I'm not sure what to think on that. I think Land Rover they're aiming more at, dare I say it, the Chelsea tractor market. The school mums that drive half a mile to the school in the centre of London and that kind of thing, and the people that drive round with wax jackets and what's the make of those wellies?
Oh.
Is it Hunter? Yeah, so they drive around in their with their wax jackets and their Hunter wellies, and they think they're part of the country elite. In fact, they live in a council house around the corner. But Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't. That's my take on it anyway. Everyone's got a different opinion, but for me, they've sort of lost it a little bit with too many gadgets and stuff. I mean, it's all very well. I mean, our Range Rover, Tina doesn't like it because it's covered in gadgets and bits and pieces, and it does this and it does that. This Defender's the same. I mean, they say it's got 85 ECUs on it. I mean, come on. They're just designed to fail, basically. It's like everything nowadays. They've got built-in obsolescence, haven't they? So, yes. I think we'll finish at that. Probably gone on for quite long enough. We'll have my little rant. Here's the old Range Rover. Lovely jubbly. So yeah, this room, once the kitchen's done, we've got the old dears coming to stay. They've just sold their house, so they're coming to stay for a fortnight. We're going to make good use of Dad while he's here. I'm not forcing him to work. He did say we're going to be here for a fortnight. We're going to get a lot of work done in that fortnight. That's like 2 thumbs up. Hopefully the kitchen will be finished. I'll show you the kitchen when it's done. We'll probably have Tina stood in there grinning like a Cheshire cat because she was a bit excited just because she's got a new sink. It is quite a special sink, I must admit. It's got a nice tap on it. She's chuntering in the other room, so I'll sign off now. So yeah, you found out a little bit more about us, and got the Hobbit hanging around. So that's it. Questions answered. You know a bit more about us, our thoughts on different things, and so that's it. If you like this video, please click the thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already. I'm from me and the Hobbit. Stood in the doorway, pulling faces. It's bye for now.